Minos and his minotaur, son of Minos' queen Pasiphae, and a bull still plague Athens. The time has come to cast off these burdens for good, to prove that Athens can stand on its own 2 feet. You must call Theseus, who is still traveling around Attica, back to the city, for only he can help you vanquish the minotaur. You'll also need a sleek and powerful trireme to sail to Crete.
Sleek and powerful trireme. How would you describe that trireme? Sleek and powerful. Sleek. I've seen boats. I've seen ships, and sleek. It was not something I described. They're quite ungainly, really. But I digress, I guess. Difficulty Titan. That felt Olympian. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's good stuff. 6 baskets of fish. 400 drachma. And a minotaur that's just doing its thing over there. Welcome back. We are here in Athens. Where else do you think we were? And no time has passed at all whatsoever, because these people were walking down the street when we left. They are walking down the street as we come back. And that's a plan of action here. I can't remember what I'm going to do. I know. Call on Theseus. So we'll set up a hero's hall. Set it up here. Put it next to the palace. We can now build a palace. Get out of the way. Now we can call on the rabble. I wonder if we could do that before. And build a tax collector. We're not going to get much out of these hovels, so we may as well do something. It looks like we need to get more water on the go, because I may have made that housing area a bit too big. There's just no happy medium, unless you count perhaps that. But I'm not redoing it now. So, what do we need for Theseus? We need to build a hall near the palace, so we've got that much. Needs to be good appeal around the wall. Halls be 6 by walls, 32 slabs of marble, 16 Aphorae of wine. Oof. That's going to be expensive. So we'll start with the easiest to do, of a gatehouse. We'll stick that here, there, and then we'll have this going off to nowhere in particular. We'll have a gatehouse there. Why, you ask? Because we're going to have some nice housing over here. Because I believe it's part of the goal. We've got to have 4 hoplites or better, and 10 people in the mansion or better. And if we've got to conquer Knossos, we've got to get some. Well, we can't be invading with rabble, which seems a bit unfair because he invaded me with rabble. So we're going to try to build this wall on the cheap. 12 drachma, 36 drachma, 30 drachma. Oof. Oh, it hurts. It hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. 240. And then this is going to be even more painful. But at least we've got the granary and the trading posts and the storage yards all safe and sound. No, I'm not going to double up on the walls. It's already costing me too much money. So that doesn't count because there's a gap. Two out of 5. Unfortunately, it was the 2 easiest. 32 slabs of marble, 16 Aphorae of wine. Where am I going to get that from? So we'll set up a storehouse one there and one there. You are going to do marble. You are going to do wine and whatever else comes our way. And then we're going to upset our neighbours. Oh, nobody offers. Oh. Well, nobody offers marble and nobody offers wine. So we're going to be in a bit of difficulty. So what can we do in the meantime? Unemployment of 47%. They are not going to like me. I mean, what I could do is set up a trireme wharf, and that would at least... Knossos become... I thought he already was hostile. I am loath to speak your name, by Jingo, because it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. There's no telling what I might do. I've got a feeling you might invade me. Yes, but I have a rabble now. So there's not a great deal I can do to get people employed, but what I can do is send people to the fields, Khmer Rouge style, and everybody become a goat herder. Because we're going to use our cheese as a bargaining chip. Nobody wants cheese, but if I offer enough cheese, they'll thank me for the sheer quantity. Popularity has waned. Yeah. I'm going to put in some guard towers for just that purpose. And then over here, I'm going to establish what should hopefully become a thriving patrician area. And how does that look in terms of there? I can't fit a third one in, so I will make the avenues go inwards. Sparta needs olive oil. Sparta needs olive oil. I need olive oil. Everybody needs olive oil. You don't need to know why we need them. I mean, that's a bit iffy for a ally, isn't it? Just give us stuff, don't ask us why. Now, you've got a lot of marble. That's probably going to cost me money. See, nobody's got any olive oil. You need olive oil. You produce wood. You buy olive oil. You buy olive oil. Yeah, there's no shortage of people that you buy olives. And Corinth and Sparta don't do anything. They just sit there looking pretty. And they don't do a very good job of that. Ha! Well, I think that slight against Sparta and Corinth backfired on me, because actually slapping my thigh in derision, I accidentally muted the microphone at this point. Hello, I'm by Jingo, future by Jingo, by which I mean present by Jingo, but by the time you get around this, it will be past by Jingo, but not quite so past by Jingo as past by Jingo. God, isn't time fun? Anyway, yeah, so here we go. I am doing the commentary for this all the highs and the lows and the thrills and the fantastic wit that was the commentary for the next 50 minutes will have to be done again with the same enthusiasm. So this was where I complained bitterly about the cost of building so many expensive roads. And the thing is, I don't think it was really necessary, because I have so many commemorative monuments that I still hadn't used them all by the end of the scenario. So that was a bit of a wasted effort. I was thinking actually, before I started setting these videos out again, whether I wanted to do this kind of post-game analysis, and as it looks like it's forced my hand. And the weird thing is, I don't really know, I can't remember what I was talking about, so I'll just have to make it up as I go along. I think here I'm trying to claw out all I can out of Odysseus. Very good for marble. I don't think I paid for any marble in this, but isn't it somewhat unreasonable of Theseus to only turn up to help me if I can find 16 Aphorae of wine and 28 slabs of marble? The wine, I upset Marathon quite a bit with this, but I did end up actually paying for some, I think. Along with paying for, to keep Knossos happy and to just pay everybody.
Me, and some of your citizens will taste my speed.
Clear off.
Dear mortal, I will fulfill a request from another city for you. Your stocks of the requested item won't be touched.
It's a nice sales pitch there from Hermes. So that's all it was. There was nothing I could do about it. It wouldn't give me anything. It was just consider building a sanctuary to me. Now I think I had an unemployment problem at this point, so the best way of getting rid of it is just to delete the housing. I don't think I was too miffed at the fact that Sparta is not getting olive oil. I've already made it clear to them that. Also, it's a kind of a weird way of asking. It's so passive aggressive. Now I just thought that the Spartans would be just out and out aggressive, just like, oh, it's 6 months has passed and we still haven't got any oil. It must have got lost in the post. By Jingo. It's like, for catty. So yeah, I'm not giving any. I don't think I have any olive oil to give away. But if I did, I wouldn't, because none of it. There's nothing. It isn't produced anywhere. Eritrea blossoms. Now I was wondering if this is actually. There was a place that used to be called Eritrea, and I think it's near Somalia, and I think that's what I'm pausing there to try and determine. Not actually to find out, because that would involve tabbing out, and you'll be able to see that because it's a screen share kind of thing. But I was just wondering in the back of my mind, and I think it is somewhere that used to be at the Horn of Africa. It might still exist for all I know. But I thought it was rather weird to have. It just shows Greek influence right into the modern age, isn't it? So here I go, looking to see what I can beg from who, and who likes me and who doesn't. Notice at the beginning of this that Marathon starts off dedicated. They love me. They can't. They willingly became a vassal, and having done that, are really thrilled at the fact. Now, I've achieved 2 out of the 5 requirements. Unfortunately, they are the 2 easiest ones. Build a wall around the palace and build a wall around the Theseus' house and build this house near the palace. There we go. We've started requesting wine off of people. Because that's expensive. It's 160 Aphorae for a vat. 160 drachma for an Aphorae. Amphora? I know nobody's really questioning why Theseus needs so much wine. Although I guess if he goes to tackle a minotaur and Dutch courage and all that. Now, was I marvelling at this point about the amount of cheese? Oh, here we go. Odysseus becomes a vassal. So they were an ally at this point, and now they become a vassal, and they're loyal. They love me. That's not going to last. Give us your marble. You got a surplus. I know you've got your surplus. And I think. Oh, there we go. We've got some wine on the go. Tribute from Thermopylae. Tribute paid by Marathon. Tribute paid by Knossos. So we've got some more marble. In fact, I think you get marble sorted pretty quickly. Olympia. Good stuff. What do they do for us? Very little, I think. Do we check at some point? I have to go through every city. They do nothing. And I think I made some kind of sort of sarcastic comments about, glad you could join us. Which I'm going to repeat again. Glad you could join us. Nice to join the party, Olympia. But I think you'll notice that the cities that are not being very helpful are those that are part of the Spartan sphere of influence. If you were to divide the leagues of the Peloponnesian War, it was Sparta, Corinth, and others versus Athens and their empire. And that's where the distinction lies. So at no point of this is Sparta being particularly helpful. Oh, I don't know if they do come together. I can't remember now. It's a long time since I played this adventure. I don't know if they actually help you during the next series of adventures, which is the Persian Wars. When they ought to. In fact, they ought to do the heavy lifting. I'm desperately checking to see if we've got enough wine. I mean, incidentally...
And some of your citizens will taste my speed.
No, sort of. It's going to be a catchphrase of this Let's Play, I think, pretty much. Oh, get stuffed was the one I used quite a bit last night. My first recording of this. But what kind of a friend is Theseus? That he won't come back to help me until I bankrupted the city. Built him lots of nice gardens, got him lots of marble, got him lots of wine, built him a house next to the palace, and built a wall around said palace. And then he has the temerity, when he does arrive, and you'll see this, to diss my city. He said, oh, well, the unemployment's pretty high here. I never let this happen when I was in charge of Athens. And I was like, olive oil. Don't wait, I've got this. I will demolish any number of buildings. I mean, there's stuffs like gold dust. I mean, I don't know who gave it to me, or indeed where they got it from. And if they've got some, why don't they sell it? If they've got a supply of it. And if they haven't got a supply of it, why are they giving it away? I guess it's an element of making the game a bit more dynamic. Who knows where the olive oil is going to come from? If I recall, you do get a supply of it come through, but it's a very erratic supply. Like every once in a while, I think Olympia just throws some olive oil your way, and you don't know whether to stockpile it or use a bit. Or I mean, what I certainly didn't do was let the paupers have any, because talk about pearls before swine. I used it to build some posh housing, and then used it to maintain the posh housing, because at least then the tax income that could be got from the posh housing would be able to fund the city and Theseus's drinking habit, which is what it largely comes down to. This is why, and you'll notice I've got 1412 drachmas. I'm looking at a very small screen at the moment, but that doesn't get any better, and it is largely due to the amount of wine I have to purchase, and the lack of trading goods, and the lack of exports. I mean, I don't export anything at this point. I'm just saying how parasitical Athens is at this point. I mean, it doesn't do anything for anybody. All it is just a focal point, because Theseus has said, why don't we all band together around Athens? Like, Athens, it doesn't provide any goods. People don't buy stuff from it. All it does is buy stuff in and of itself, but it has no means of supporting itself, so it gets its income from tribute and gifts, and at one point I think handouts. So there we go. There's your olive oil. I think I'm mentally just hugging it close to my chest, but only mentally, because it's olive oil. And I didn't build any vendors for it in the poor section, and I think I'm extolling my virtual audience there, which turned out to be just myself because the microphone wasn't turned on, that I will be doing pretty much what I've just told you. Sparta can go away. They are not getting it. In fact, they don't do anything. They don't help you, they don't hinder you, they don't trade with you, they don't demand anything. Well, they don't demand anything, they don't give you anything. And here I am saying, hold up, that armour's pretty valuable. I mean, it's nice. It's like, was it 16 things of armour? I say, where's this come from? Because nobody produces it. I think you look on the map on this scenario, and I don't think anybody even produces bronze. So I don't know if they just sort of happen upon it. So it looks like you've come across some olive oil. Fancy giving it to us? Incidentally, where is Theseus? What's he doing at this point? He's just sulking. He's not coming back to the city because we've not got enough wine for him. We haven't got enough marble. Sparta thinks less of me. Oh no, what am I going to do? They were so friendly to begin with. Corinth, no good. They don't buy anything. They don't sell anything. At this point, I don't care. So I'll take the suits of armour. Marathon grants wine. That's lovely. I have to check on the status. How do they feel about me now? Aphorae is sympathetic. Marathon is bitter. You remember what I said about 10 minutes ago? How dedicated Marathon was and how happy they were to be part of my vassal. And within a year, possibly 2, I've managed to turn them bitter. And I think Odysseus becomes rebellious at some point. I've upset Sparta, I've upset Corinth, and I think there's only one person I don't upset in this. This is Thermopylae. And that's because I daren't, because they're my single source of skins. There we go. Now we've got Theseus under wraps, on the way. And I'm thinking that bully boy in Knossos, King Minos, won't be able to knock me around anymore. Sparta becomes resentful. Here we go. I cannot bring myself to call you my friend, by Jingo. I, Briseis, and of your ally Sparta, cannot countenance some of your recent actions. I am extremely resentful of you. See, he's just like, you've got this mental image of Spartans as being quite taciturn for a start. What do they say to the Persians when they ask them to hand over their arms? Come take them. 3 words. It's like proper man's man, masculine. And in this game, the Spartans have just whined at me. They've just, oh, wouldn't it be nice if you give me some olive oil? Oh, give us some olive oil. Go on. I'll be a friend. Oh, you're mean. I'm extremely resentful of you. It's like 300 would be a very different movie with these Spartans. Here we go. I'm not muted my microphone again doing that stuff. I've become very paranoid about that. And who can blame me? Who can blame me? I have seen all this before. In fact, due to a technical difficulty, again with the sound, this is the 2nd time I've actually played this mission, and the 3rd time I've done the commentary for it. So I know what's going on. I'm pretty clued in, but I'm also ready for the next mission. I'll be honest. So here I am doing some accounting, which is the best part of the best part of gaming. And I think I was remarking on how balanced the budget actually is, considering that we don't produce anything. The tax income seems to pay for the wages in a little bit. Knossos is getting nothing. It's not getting a red cent, or indeed a red drachma. I have given them 2,000 drachma, I think, possibly more. And I'm not giving them another more. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind as the next thing I'm going to give them. So even though it's a rather paltry amount, I'm not giving it. Because he's probably going to use it to just build troops to invade me with. So I can then bribe him and give him some more money. And anyway, I've got my friend Theseus on my side, so meh. That's me sticking my tongue out. Perhaps I ought to have a face cam. And then I think, ooh, no. So I think there was like begging for supplies from whoever and whatever. Now I think I don't need to borrow any supplies from Odysseus anymore, but it doesn't stop them being pretty resentful. I think the damage is already done by this point. And I think, look at that screen, it was like all the things that I don't produce. I can't even like buy stuff at one place and then sell it on at another place. Anyway, tribute's rolling in, so I've got my marble, I've got some extra fish. I could do with actually building a 2nd granary to store the fish in. No, clear off. I mean, you're supposed to treat the gods with awe and respect, but at the moment it's primarily irritation. But it's quite a minor god as well. Hermes, his sanctuary only takes 8 marble. I can't respect that. And after spending a small fortune on these nice parks, it cost me about 3,000 drachma. Oh, right, yes.
This never happened when I ran Athens.
You see, this is what I was talking about earlier. What a dick. Really? Oh, and here we go. It all happens now. Knossos launches an invasion, there's an earthquake, Theseus is rude to me, there's mass unemployment because I've had to make a load of economic sacrifices so I can get him the wine and marble that he wants. Bloody Theseus. Anyway, yeah, so I was moaning about how expensive everything is, and despite all that, people still don't want to move in. So I use one of the many commemorative monuments. I'm not concerned with the invasions anymore because I've seen how big they are. So they're pretty small. You can judge it from the price of the... Marathon becomes angry. Most ignoble by Jingo, I, Eropos, and all my people at Marathon despise you. We just might decide to make your life unpleasant. Now remember how at the beginning of this scenario they loved us, they were dedicated, they were thrilled. They've become almost rebellious. They are extremely resentful. Knossos launches an investment, the time to prepare has passed in 1 month because they want more land to call their own. The Minoans are on the way. But what else is new? But this time, King Minos isn't getting my lunch money. Because I've not gotten it, I've got 245 drachmas to my name. I'm still spending it. Theory being at this point, I think, is if I get a large enough, nice enough housing, the tax income might help alleviate something somewhere. Although self-funding cities just never have. I seem to remember somewhere in the Pharaoh manual, I think, or on some strategy site for Pharaoh, warning you. I was trying to offer cheese up to. Can I offer you some cheese in this trying time? One of the advice it gave was that you can't build a city on taxation. And the thing is that at a certain point in Pharaoh you can. Oh, Quirises. I didn't know it was pronounced like that. I've been calling them Curiouses, so it's been sort of pronouncing the UI curious here. So when you get to in Rise of Nations, where the Enlightenment Age heavy cavalry are called Curious Ears, which I imagine how you're supposed to pronounce it, but I keep on calling them Curious Ears. Basically, you know, horsemen with a curious. Knossos launches an invasion. I can't bribe them because I've only got 295 drachmas to my name, so it's surrender or fight. I'm not about to surrender at this point. Thanks, Olympia. That's better late than never, I guess. But it's not much you can do about it while the invasion's taking place. In fact, all I've got is rabble at this point. I've got rabble and Theseus, but at this point I figure it's a way of dealing with the unemployment, which I think is currently about 30%. I don't forget notifications about how opinion of me has plummeted. You know, nothing's new there. But there we go. Now employees are needed.
I've heard that there's a cornucopia of food here. Yummy!
There's a cornucopia as long as you like cheese. All kinds of cheese. We've got feta and Greek-style cheese and goat's cheese and feta. It's you know, hope you like cheese is all I'm saying. And then this I'm not sure is allowed. Oh no, later on, Knossos launches. That's a bit pathetic. I assume there's more to come, but Knossos launches an invasion while in the process of launching an invasion. So very meta. It's like, I'm not sure that's not allowed. So that's a little bit more intimidating than just a single rabble, but still, it's not great. I mean, the thing about this point is it's just a waste of everyone's time. Maybe a bit of overkill there on the part of the rabble. Perhaps didn't need to levy the entire city to fend off. Well, very little, I guess. And quite dramatic music, if you noticed, for not a very dramatic invasion, truth be told. So what we've also got is that while this is all going on, the posh people who will soon become hoplites are arriving, so that next time this happens, I should have some actual trained soldiers, besides Theseus. But I wonder if I could I could have just left Theseus to do it himself. Did I even need to raise these troops? I thought I best help him out. He might get cheesed off otherwise. It's funny considering our primary. I was going to say export, but we don't export it. We just produce it. Oh, it's good stuff. That's the kind of fight scene and graphics that I know you tuned in for. So we're going to fend them off with rocks. The gift of wood from Olympia. I think at this point I'm thinking up trireme wharfs, if I haven't already. So in the midst of battle, I think my mind is elsewhere. Yeah, here we go. I'm like, screw this. This blood and guts and action is far less interesting than what is going to become civic planning. Past unemployment drives people away. Fine, whatever. Now we can build a commemorative monument. But I'm not finished yet. I've got to throw some rocks till it goes away.
You call that an invasion? My grandmother could...
Well, I do forget that while this is happening...
You call that
Yeah.
an invasion? My grandmother...
I do forget that... Oh, I've already heard you talk once. While this is going on, of course, people aren't working. Not so much a problem now, because we did have quite high unemployment. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to build a trireme wharf is that it uses up 100 workers. So it's not a bad way of just soaking up unemployment. Right, so everybody back to work. You've done your bit for your city and country. Now do even more. I need you back at those cheese farms. Because I don't think anybody's working doing anything else. So they're not doing any heavy industry. It's just, you're either a cheese farmer, a bureaucrat, a philosopher, an actor, or somebody that checks the buildings don't fall down. I'm guessing the people in the trade stations are bureaucrats, just tallying the trade that's going in and out. I'm just marching back to the city. The music's even stopped being interesting. I've certainly stopped being interesting. Well, stopped being interesting a long time ago. So I took this opportunity to scroll through the menu. Looks like. There we go. Build a trireme wharf because I thought that was a good time to just soak up some excess population. Given that we're actually at a labour shortage at the moment. And I was talking about how I think we've already gone past the bits, haven't we? Where Theseus has already slain the Minotaur, and all the action happened off screen. I was too busy talking about the width of the pavements in the elite housing section. I was just remarking on how this is the kind of guy, the kind of game for people like me who wonder, like when sort of in an action movie when they're going off fighting their exciting battles with lots of explosions and going into contact with the bad guys and coming to a climactic battle. Back in mind, I'm wondering, ooh, that ammunition's quite expensive. Well, what's going to cost a lot to replace? That explosion, that's caused a lot of property damage. And here's to the people, us, I guess, who are playing the strategy games, who are playing the city builder games, who are providing the logistics to allow for the Call of Duty first-person shooter types to enjoy the kind of action and thriller that they evidently enjoy. And far better for me to sort of sit behind the scenes and go, you know, I'll get the logistics sorted. Don't worry. I can get the gear together to send Theseus off to do his thing, sort out the Minotaur, have a good time. We'll hear about it when you get back. Now, let's have a look at some ledgers. I think that sounds eminently reasonable, and quite cosy and homely as well. But I guess it doesn't bring in the views, does it? But I don't care. I think I commented in a comment a little while back. Comments are greater than likes, are greater than views, and then I don't know what to do about shares. Shares are a bit weird. I mean, I've never shared a video in my life. I think it's a little weird thing to do. Like, maybe it's just a group of friends. Like, if I shared them a video, oh, I found this on YouTube. It's like, eh? I'm showing this Let's Play for. So I don't have an opinion on that. Although if you do want to share this video, make sure you bring a disclaimer. It's long, and there's a lot of talking, and there's not much action. And the action that does take place takes place off screen. Well, that Slayer the Minotaur does. The battles with the Minoans doesn't, but they're pretty low key. So I think it was agonising whether to stockpile the wine or not. So I'm looking at 244 drachma, and I was quite impressed with how I only ran out of money once in this scenario. And I got, or maybe twice. No, I got bailed out once, and went bankrupt. Not bankrupt, went into debt a couple of times. But by and large, I was pretty financially stable until this point. I've dipped into debt, as you can see. I don't know what caused it that time, but I can't see any wine in the storehouse. But it was buying wine from the warriors. Didn't do me much good. There we go. Everything's going tickety-boo. By rights.
You have matched me as a ruler. Your city is
Thank you, Theseus. That's how you should have introduced yourself when you came to my city. With a compliment. It's just good manners. So, I'll take the fish, I'll take the drachmas. I will take the drachmas, my word, you're to believe. I'll take the marble, and you'll see that shiny, sleek trireme sitting in the dock. It doesn't do much, but it looks good. I think at this point I'm pretty much just waiting for the elite housing to be upgraded, so I can get the required number of hoplites to pass the mission.
I'm going out to buy more wine. My customers really drank up
It's
quickly.
a bad form to drink up your supply. It's I say that dealers should never be users. Alcohol is a drug. Lost my train of thought then. That was quite impressive, given I've got nothing else to do. But give me a train of thought. It's not even like I've got the game to distract me. So I don't know what I'm doing at this point. It's just putting down a precious oil vendor, and I'm pretty sure I was pretty anxious about that. Sparta is getting nothing. Knossos is getting nothing. Everybody can just get out. It's just get out of my office. You wanting drachmas, you wanting olive oil, nobody's getting anything. And I wonder why I'm so unpopular. What I'm trying to do, because you need to get 8 hoplites and capture Knossos to win this. So I think I've pretty much... Oh, there we go. Thank you, Olympia. Olympia's been good to me. They've been giving me olive oil and they're giving me money. I think they gave me wood as well. Oh no! Knossos thinks less than me. The playground bully doesn't like me. I mean, was there a point when Knossos did like me? I'm pretty sure the first month in, they said, I am loath to speak your name, Barjingo. There's no telling what I might do. And then since then, the relationship has just gone downhill. He's tried to invade me 3 times, 4 times. 3 times I got paid off. 1 time I actually fought him off. And, you know, it's not a happy relationship. At this point, I'm done with him. If I didn't have to invade him, I'd just be... Oh, here's the thing. I want to get another couple of hoplites, because I'm pretty sure I could take him on with Theseus and the trireme and 6 hoplites, but I want to have a company of 3 hoplites behind and take a full company of 8 hoplites plus Theseus plus the trireme, and that should do it. I don't know how much Theseus counts for in terms of battle calculations, but it's got to count for something. Corinth is fed up with me. Oh no, all that trade that I've been doing with Corinth. Knossos becomes hostile. I am loath to speak your name, Jingo. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I get it, it's quite a clunky name, I'm sorry. It's not, you know, it's not a game that, it's a name, it's better than the name that I originally with this channel. It was the New Guy 4, which is in the URL, I believe, if you go to the channel page and look up. It's, that's the name I registered with back in 2006. So compared to that, Jingo is quite an improvement. The idea behind the New Guy as a name would be, as time went on, it gets steadily more ironic. But perhaps people just think, this guy's not thought it through, that name's not aged well. What an idiot. As it happens, they just look at, by Jingo, that's a terrible name. It's a minced oath, meaning by Jesus. This some kind of religious nutjob. What an idiot. Either way, I don't look good. So I'm just waiting here desperately for the army to get there, to everybody to cheer up. I need to do something about the entertainment. There's a house that's just the wrong side of all entertainment. So if you go all the way around one way, the loop, and you go all the way around the other way, it's outside of the loop. But that one on the end there, not that one, the next one along, well, maybe that one, just can't get access to culture. And at that point, I think I just shrugged my shoulders. What do I need to do about it? I ain't got the olive oil to do anything about it, so I ain't. I'm not going to do it. I didn't. So everything's a bit tickety-boo. Nobody's unhappy about doing employment. In fact, I'm a bit short of workers. I don't know, I might have built some housing at some point. I'm in debt again. Corinth isn't bailing Olympia. Yeah, Olympia's not bailing me out. Here we are. I'm talking about how the culture walkers. Marathon rebels. I've had just about all I can take of you, by Jingo. I, Oedipus of Marathon, am revolting against you. You can forget about my tribute payment, and I'm not going to trade with you either. This from a chap that beginning at half an hour ago was thrilled. He was delighted to become a vassal, and in a space of half an hour is loath to speak my name. If he wasn't already my vassal, he would be hostile. But important thing is that I got the wine off of him, so I've already bought the wine. So my wine's stockpiled. Don't worry about it. Besides, I can get the wine from elsewhere if Marathon doesn't want to trade. Still, my view to this is just, stockpile the wine. I'm okay. We can get reasonably drunk for a long period of time before we have to worry about appeasing Marathon. But it's a rather damning indictment of my diplomatic skills in that I've... Oh no, not... Could you refuse to send my 8 jugs of olive oil? I think less of you. Oh no, Corinth, whatever will we do? Perhaps this sort of sarcastic worry is probably what's causing the diplomatic furore. But yeah, I've upset Sparta, I've upset Corinth, they're both resentful. My 2 allies, one's rebelling and one wants to rebel. I've got other allies that are looking at me a bit cockeyed, and Thermopylae is alright, but then again, Thermopylae doesn't want to doesn't demand anything of me, so I don't give him anything, and everybody's happy. Oh, in fact, I don't know, Thermopylae is an actual vassal at this point. I thought they were still an ally. I think it's more they can't give me anything. Like, if I was desperate for skeins of fleece, I would probably have upset them by now. But yeah, Knossos is invading again. What does this make it? Invasion number 6 or something? 3 in the last episode, and 3 in this one. Paid them off once, fought them off once, fighting them off again. Because I will be fighting them off. It doesn't give me much notice, it only gives me 2 months notice. In Pharaoh, it used to give you like 18 months notice. Or at least 6 months. Okay, here we go. I can't buy them off, but then again they've only got 14 drachma to my name, so that's probably just as well. And here we go, here's... Sod off! I will take that sanctuary and shove it where the sun don't shine.
Unrest in the city? Shut your mouth. Things are...
And this has launched an invasion. So he has actually landed now. There's the rabble. There's my rabble. And my rabble beats your rabble, because there's more of it. And my trireme's there. I don't know, it's just taking up... It's not got a use, it's just there to provide jobs, I think. And I think I've got a massive labour shortage at this point. Because it's not dawned on me that if everybody's out fighting, nobody's out tending their, cheese fields. Or cheese pastures. And yeah, this is the thing. Like, he's already invading, and now he's going to invade again, while his current invasion is still taking place. The man's mad. Like, this makes it invasion number 7 is on the way. Invasion number 6 is taking place, and I just can't get a foothold. Like, I tried to build up my forces to attack him, and I can't because he keeps invading me. It's the old constant invasion strats, I guess. But doesn't that look good, seeing all these hordes of rabble just lined up in formation as well? Something that the Rome Total War does quite nicely is that if you're a peasant rabble or a barbarian rabble, you don't stand in neat lines like these rabble are doing. Instead you stand in like a circle. I still have never played Rome 2. I was so put off by the development of it that I still, if I play a Total War, it's still Rome Total War. Is the most, not the most recent one. I've got Shogun 2 Total War, but I just don't like it. It has a feel to it I don't quite like. Oh, we've got some proper troops here. They turned up too late to do anything, but that's fine. And then I thought I'd just stick around because there's another invasion force on the way. I'm still wondering about the mansions, why they're not evolving. And I think that it's, you know, 2 months is a long time to keep an army in the field. So I think, well, I'll disband everybody. And as soon as I do that, the Minoans arrive. So it's neither use nor ornament. They don't get home in time to go back to their jobs.
My armor
And
is as good as
he's
Achilles. I'll be ready when the invasion
too far
starts.
away to be called up swiftly when the Minoans do land. So at this point I've just given up on that other house. I'll build another house that's closer to the theatre, and then they will be mine. Oh, here we go. Oh, Corinth, all that trade that we've been doing. See, at this point everybody seems to calm down. I don't know why. So I think Corinth trade resumes, I think the vassals calm down, I think Sparta carries on being Sparta. Don't care. So here we go. I don't think they land very much, but they bring 2 ships in against my 1 ship, and as you can guess, it probably doesn't end well for it. At this point I try to think, well, I was thinking, could I not just sail away? Why do I have to stop at the edge of the map? Surely that river leads somewhere. So this was just a spoiler attack, this wasn't. They didn't achieve anything. So it's used. Well, it's turned up with a horse, 3 infantry, and something else. Yeah, I'm desperately trying to get away. It's like,
It won't be long before this enemy is dead.
I admire your confidence, but yeah. It's I mean, hey, I'm doing some damage. Look at that. But perhaps I shouldn't have moved. That was the problem. I don't think you can fire and move at the same time. But the hull is mangled. Now it's barely afloat, and now it's dead. Oh well, there's your Athenian naval strength. Meanwhile, the rabble are doing great. I think my losses have been minimal, absolutely minimal. They point out that having now wrecked Trireme, they're just going to go home now. And also, hoplites don't do anything. Theseus didn't do anything, so it was just... There we go, that's invasion number 7 thwarted. Theseus turned up to claim credit, I guess. Thanks for helping. There's like a reverse, an inverse towards how competent you are at fighting and how close you were to the battlefield. So all the rabble did all the fighting, the hoplites turned up just as they were routing, and Theseus turned up long after the action. But he did a bit of slaying of Corinth becomes resentful. I cannot bring myself to call you blah 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 blah. And that was me talking about thinking how everyone was calming down. He's resentful, but he still traded with me. Or would do if he... I think at this point I realised what's going on. Why is everything looking so ramshackle? And then I saw, oh, 284 workers needed. Oh wait, everything's collapsed. Oh wait. It's because all the water carriers just disappeared. Just the water carriers. Like, there we go. Please forgive me, Byjenko. I, Euripus of Marathon, realised just how foolish I was. Rebelling against you was a mistake. I docilely returned to the fold. I would gladly replay with you and eagerly look forward to resuming trade with you. See, that's nice. Giving him a couple of years just to mull this over. They found out I'm not so bad after all when I'm not constantly demanding marble off of him. I mean, it's still insubordinate. Pretty bitter. But, you know, he's not rebelling bitter. He's still paying me his marble tribute. Which I'm currently just sticking it at a warehouse, I think. I should have built an extra warehouse for it. I think I wasted, what, a couple of years tribute, because there's no room for it. Should have stored it up, because I imagine I've got to build a couple of sanctuaries in this city later on. And at this point I think I'm panicking. See, you don't need a great number of people in hygiene and safety. See, the cheese factories are shutting down. There's no cheese being produced. The goats are worried. There's no room in the granary for the cheese. There's no people in the market to distribute the cheese. Really worried. Although all of my cheese industries are running. All of my industries are running. We've got cheese. We've got the dairy industry. We've got milk, as long as you curdle it into cheese. And we've got animal husbandry, as long as it's referring to goats. Because, you know, we don't have any horses. That'd be daft. You can't milk a horse. Well, I guess you can. Milk any mammal. But you don't see many blocks of horse's milk on the shelves, do you? So I've got any farmers in the chat want to let me know why. I imagine this is to do with like just the expense of a horse and how much milk they produce. So, no, but it must surely be a not luxury, but certainly a sort of an oddity, an exotic item. So yeah, what I was actually talking about in the original playthrough was building gyms for the plebs. Cheers! I used to go to one of those. These are the ones with a stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap, and a low monthly fee. And they used to complain about how busy it was in there. I think, well, I'm only paying £15 a month. What can I expect? And then everything shut down in lockdown. So, with the time that we used to spend at the gym, I'm now spending making Let's Play videos. So I guess you're a beneficiary, and it's at the expense of I was going to say the expense of my body, but it never really went anywhere. I don't see any particular changes, and I feel a bit weaker. I feel like I'm going a bit sedentary. But you know, that wasn't what I was talking about in the original talk through anyway. But enjoying it nonetheless. So we go, crisis over, everybody's returning, and it was all because I just turned the taps back on the water fountain. Although it was a bit infuriating because it did delay the end of this mission by another 10 minutes. And all the while I'm thinking, this is going to take an age to process, this is going to be so long for people watching, they're going to like it. This is supposed to be... Oh no! These Spartans. I ain't got time for them. Yeah, this is supposed to be like the introductory, like the second mission of an 8-mission tree. It's supposed to be fairly easy. It's supposed to be just establishing yourself. Although it did say it was fairly challenging in the description, so it did warn me. So I think I'm getting to the point now where I'm just about ready to invade then Knossos invades again for like the 8th time. Well, it feels like the 8th time this video, but I think it's the 8th time in all. It might be the 9th actually. Oh, I don't know. No, I think it's the 8th. So tributes paid by everybody. Tributes theoretically paid by what they're called, Odysseus, thank you. But there's no room for it. They're still. I mean, Marathon's loyal. They've calmed down a bit now. Turns out they're a lot higher. They're a lot happier when you don't demand things off of them. But I say, what's the point in having a vassal if you can't oppress them? I mean, if I was able to produce some goods... No, go away. No, go away. What makes Knossos think I'm going to give them 100 drachma?
I'm Hermes.
No, go
Worship
away.
me, and some of your
Everybody's getting on my nerves. Knossos is getting on my nerves, Sparta's getting on my nerves, Hermes is getting on my nerves. I guess if I'd have given him 100 drachma, it might have delayed his invasion plans long enough so that I could actually invade him. Do I actually send it off? Or do I just mull it over, I think? I don't know why, do I? That's why! The one more land to call their own, rival the Greeks of Knossos are invading you. Knossos thinks less of you. Sparta thinks less of you. Knossos thinks less of you because it's an invasion. So that is invasion number 8. They're just mad. They must surely have no troops left at this point. But it is clever strats. You know, clever spoiler strats. If you keep on invading somebody, they can't build up a force to invade you. Despite the fact that, presumably, they've got nothing left at this point. They're dressing up women and children in armour and sending them off. I don't think I've got the population to support the trireme. That was it! That was it. I was waiting for people to come back to the city to build up the population so that I could man the triremes. By the time that happened, Knossos was invading again. And they'll be here in 1 month. And so we wait. I think there was a point. There was thought, yeah, it was like, I'm done with this mission now. And it was surprisingly early on, because like I say, I think it was the 2nd time of doing this mission. The 3rd time, not the 3rd time of recording it. And I was like, I've won. And here we go. I'm ready for them. Fight to defend the city. I'm not going to pay 1,000 drachma, although maybe I should have done at this point, just to get them out of the way. So unconcerned. Unconcerned because I've got Theseus on the side still. Chap's been waiting for years. He's probably been waiting for like 10 years, ready to go to Knossos. Oh, I think I sort of I talked about the story of Theseus and the Minotaur, but I can't remember if it got recorded or not. So I'm going to say it again.
You have met me as a ruler. Your city is superb.
Why, thank you. My city is superb. I'm glad you agree. But Theseus went off to defeat the Minotaur. We took some string with him to make sure he didn't get lost in the labyrinth. So the idea of him killing him in the fields out in Thebes is a little bit off kilter. Well, Theseus is really going for it over there, by the way. I was expecting him to come by sea because they come by sea every other time, but Theseus is got it sorted. He's just going for all the easy options, by the way. I think he's going to tackle the rabble, then he's going to move on to the hoplites, and then he's going to leave the cavalry for my chaps to sort out. Yeah, he's just taking on the rabble. But he went to the palace of King Minos and sort out the Minotaur. Defeated him, found his way out again because he had some string to find the way out of the labyrinth, because that was the killer for most people that tried to defeat the Minotaur. And he reached an agreement with his father before he left, King Aegis. They said, take these black sails with you, and if you don't make it back, keep them up. But over the course of the I guess dealing with the Minotaur, he forgot about the black sails while he was sailing back and about a message to his father. So he sailed in with the black sails showing. King Aegis looks out upon the black sails on the ship to start carrying his son, thinks he's been defeated by the Minotaur, and in a peak of grief, throws himself from the palace into the sea. That's why you call it the Aegean Sea, and kills himself. And then presumably Theseus comes back and goes, "Oh yeah, the black sails. Oh, sorry about that. My bad." At this point I'm like, right, I've had it. Invasion number 8 is at it. That's it. I've had enough of this now.
You call that an invasion?
I think I'm sending them off now before they even come back. Yeah, they're already being sent off. And Corinth is getting no olive oil from me. And that being suspended trade because, you know, I'm done. There's a lot of repeating themes now. Knossos invades, Sparta's upset, Corinth is upset, suspends trade, they don't trade with me anyway, realise they don't trade, open up, Knossos invades, Knossos invades, Knossos is upset, Sparta's upset, Sparta wants olive oil, I don't give them olive oil, suspend trade, reopen trade, Knossos invades. That's not a bad summary, that is. I might use that as the video description. So now we're actually getting somewhere now, we're actually progressing. And here we go.
The man they used to call master is now their humble servant, and his grotesque stepson has been sent away from
Grotesque.
shores. News of your achievements has spread through Greece like a wildfire, and Eretria and Odessos, in awe of your accomplishments, have willingly placed themselves under your leadership.
Oh, thank you.
Yet, the goods that these new subjects provide to Athens still aren't enough for the city to achieve greatness. It is time to leave Athens behind and establish a new city.
Yeah, I think I'm done with this place as well. I'm ready for a fresh start. But yeah, there's something quite frustrating about that. Like, I was done with the mission about 20 minutes ago. I'd say, if you look back on the video, I'd say at that point I had everything set up, I had the right equipment, I'd just be the bullet trireme, needed to just get everything ready, and I'm ready to sail. And every time I tried to do that, Knossos would invade. They just knocked me back. Anyway, so here we go. We've got a choice of colonies to go to, and usually I offer this up to a viewer's choice, but Athens isn't a democracy yet, and it's barely a city. But we do have a choice between lonely isolated island, land is blessed with this, that and the other. And then we've got harsh land, there's little to offer except iron deposits of silver and bronze. And that's where you'll see me next time. I'm not offering up to a choice, I'm ploughing